Almost 99% of games would be wiped out of the universe if we remove one single important thing, which is an enemy. Think about it, most games revolve around fighting an enemy to progress. Even the earliest game ever made had the same premise. So if we take that away, then what even is a game without something to fight against? Because in this alternate timeline, we talked about what would happen if enemies never existed in games. There would be no player versus player combat, no leveling systems, and not even the slightest challenge standing in your way. Genuinely, what would games even look like today in a world without enemies? That answer goes way much deeper than just a game design, because we humans don't really work well without challenge. We need it. That loop of trying, failing, learning, and then finally getting it right. That's what keeps people playing for hours without noticing the time. That feeling is what is called resistance. Resistance is anything standing between you and instant success. It can be an enemy, but it can also be a time limit, a scarce resource, a rule you don't fully understand yet, or an environment that's working against you. But it's not the same thing as difficulty. It's bigger than that. Let me take you to the side of the world, where gaming was all about peace and relaxation. This masterpiece is called Proteus, and the basic premise of this game was just you, walking through a changing world that had nothing but a view. No enemies, no objectives, and no way to fail the game. There's just nothing to do but walk. And most of you watching would probably argue that this game is hella boring. That's just how we're built. We're problem solvers. And something too easy, or in this case, something with nothing to solve at all, doesn't feel meaningful. If there's no struggle there, the brain doesn't register anything as an achievement. But here's the thing. Adding more resistance doesn't automatically make a game better. Because Dead Rising 3 floods the world with hundreds of zombies. Early on, it feels intense, almost overwhelming. But after a few hours, most players say the same thing. Combat becomes repetitive, and the enemies stop feeling like a challenge and start feeling like an annoyance instead. But that doesn't mean the games suck. It surely is better than just walking in a dead city with nothing to do. But what if we dropped some basic-ass enemy into Proteus? Just something simple.
My flesh was dull gold.
Now there's a reason for you to move, to react, and something to care about. But despite all of that, both games still had massive fan bases because each of them succeeded in their own unique way. What I'm trying to say is that enemies are one of the simplest forms of resistance that our brain can recognize. They're one of the biggest shortcuts in game design. Because instead of building complex systems like economic pressure, emotional storytelling,
are like any machine. You don't throw them out when they break down.
Or environmental hazards, developers can compress all of that into one simple, readable object. But let's take it up a notch. If there was no such thing as resistance in games today, gamers probably wouldn't even be a thing, because games wouldn't be as much fun as today.
Crossing undetected, no sound. Silent as the night, and they're down, and another
There would be no such thing as an adrenaline rush, grinding your skills, or ranking up all night with a couple of your best friends. This, unless you just want to spend hours talking in a lobby.
We own kids. And J
How
Ball.
many times do I have to tell you? We have quarterbacks.
Instead of that, games would probably be treated more like a therapy. Something to relax you and calm your mind. And no, I don't mean the kind that cures boredom. I mean an actual treatment. But even then, such games still have some sort of resistance and challenge in them. For example, take a look at this game.
Discover new worlds.
Woohoo! That's what I'm talking about.
Build your universe. Capture mystic creatures.
It's called Endeavor RX. It's a prescription video game, not entertainment, an actual FDA-authorized treatment for kids with ADHD. There was even a clinical study showing that after just 4 weeks, some children showed measurable improvements in attention after playing this game. The point is, there's no such thing as zero resistance. Even if there are no enemies in it, they would replace it with something else, and it would still be just as challenging. Even if you strip everything down from the game and there's nothing left to do in it. The only thing standing in your way would be your own motivation. What would be the reason to keep playing if there's nothing in it? And in the end, when there's nothing left to fight, you realize the enemy was you all along. I'm Eva from Evergreen. See you guys in the next one.